Hello my friends, and welcome back to Coffee Tea Paper. My name is Louise. If you're new here, hello, thanks for joining us. Today I am doing a journal catch up with my March memory keeping as well as my March calendar pages, and I'm kicking off by using some of these stickers. Now, I found these stickers and I loved them so much with all the little journals and that bunny rabbit, paint palettes, ink bottles, a wax seal stove, piles of letters. They're all the things that just make my heart sing. I won't sing with my mouth because that won't be very good for anybody. This range of stickers also came in a coffee theme, coffee, cafe. I loved them so much that I bought a whole bunch of them and I put some in my shop as well. So I kept some for me and put some in my shop because I thought, yeah, you know what? Lots of my customers like a lot of the same things as me, and I really want to share these stickers. So I decided for March I wanted to do a bit of a blue theme. I don't know why. I was just feeling in not a blue mood, like sad, just a blue mood. Reminds me of that song. Anyway, Blue Moon. Yeah, it's really, really old. So I went through my stash and I just picked out a whole bunch of sort of this soft, powdery blue type stickers and tickets and labels and washi tape, and then I found a couple of separate little pieces with these stamps. That duck stamp is from Japan, and that came on one of the envelopes from my Japanese pen pal, and of course it's a bird, so I love it. So I thought, yes, I want to put that on as well. And of course some of these big beautiful, cringe city, beautiful blue flowers. I think they're a Loy design flower, and they're quite large, so they're kind of a bit tricky, but they work well on these monthly pages where I just kind of have draped them across the days where I haven't actually really written much in. It's kind of funny how I'm using these monthly things. It's quite handy to write in appointments that are coming up or reminders for things, but I don't put my sort of day-to-day things in there because once everything's a bit closer, I'm just putting it in my weeks. So I wanted to put those calligraphy dip pens on the day that I went and did the penmanship course. So I thought that was perfect for there. And the other ones I'm just trying to pick out things that go with the theme on the page, but also that I just like this jar of paintbrushes. I wish I had a nice jar of paintbrushes. I've got a plastic tub that I think I bought. It was like a big plastic tub of lollies that I got for one of my kids' birthday parties. So yeah, not quite as aesthetically beautiful as a jar. And and I found these in my stash as well. I think these were a gift from a pen pal, and I've had them for a while. And I thought with all their little blue elements, I thought it was a good time to put them on these pages as well. So March here in Australia signals the start of autumn. And gosh, it's Really, today has been the first day where the morning has felt a little fresh, and yeah, it hasn't really, like, it's 11:15 now, it's only 25 degrees, and so most of the morning it's been around 20, which has just been lovely. I've already had a busy day. I've been into the city. I had an appointment in the city, and then I've come back home, and then I've driven my husband to the airport, and I've done 2 loads of washing, and I've done some video editing, and now I'm finally sitting down and having a chat with you guys while I look at this video and try and remember what I did. I did film this. I kind of did bits and pieces over the course of the last week or so because it has been school holidays here, and when it's school holidays I really like to I don't know, this might seem a bit odd, but I actually enjoy spending time with my family and my children and doing things together. My 12-year-old has been very keen to up his cooking game. He's of that age where he is hungry all the time, and but he has realized that if you enjoy food and you enjoy eating food, it's quite a handy skill to learn how to cook the food. So my husband's been teaching him how to cook on the barbecue, and I have been cooking with him. I haven't really had to do all that much. He's needed a little bit of guidance. It's mostly just supervising him. I'm teaching him how to do a few things, like last night he wanted to make fritters, so we do fritters, which is a carrot, goat's cheese, coriander. It's got some spring onions and ginger in it, and they're packed full of vegetables and really, really tasty. And he was very keen to learn how to make those, and I taught him how I've got this. It's not like a fancy food processor, it's kind of like a stick blender with some of those attachments, and it's got one of those attachments with the like gratey disc, and just talking him through how to use that and making sure that the carrot is the right size to fit through the tube, and those sorts of things. But of course, when you're cooking yourself, when you're doing recipes that you've made many times, you can tend to whiz through it quite quickly. And when you're trying to teach someone else who's particularly a little bit slow when it comes to things like peeling and using a sharp knife, it took hours. But these are life skills, right? And they're super important. So we're just having a look at the final monthly page. There I've just popped in a whole lot of random blue themed things of stuff I love. Moving on, I have actually moved my memory keeping, my 2023 memory keeping journal into my Traveler's Notebook Company collaboration with Superior Labour camel cover. I just love the feel of it, and I am now catching up with my March pages. Because we're moving into autumn, I thought it might be nice to start off with some really autumny, like an autumny looking title page. And if you haven't seen, or you're new here, I did a video. My last video was opening some March Happy Mail, and one of the Happy Mails was from Victoria, who sent me a whole bunch of really nice kind of orangey and autumny and Eastery type bits and pieces. paper bits and pieces. And so I am using some of them here. The Easter ones, I have sidelined some of them to use for April, and I have also used some in my week 14 spread, which I've done, and I filmed, but I haven't edited or had a little chat on that video yet. So that is on my to-do list. It's a bit of a spoiler alert. It's kind of a bit random, but I think I like it. I don't know. We'll see. So I am just using some pages. One of these pages is a bit of a vintage recipe book that was sent to me by my pen pal Helen over in the US. And yes, they're not, I had a look at the recipes. They're not recipes I am going to make. So I am enjoying using the really creamy kind of paper, and I like the bit where it's been torn out of the spiral binding to give some texture on the page as well. And the ticket at the top because of March. March is the 3rd month, and yeah, I thought that was fun too. And just a few other bits and pieces of orangey type things, and some mushrooms and toadstools and so forth. We tend to get like rings, like rings of mushrooms. When I was a little kid, we used to call them fairy rings, because the grass goes in a circle, like a really dark green circle, and around the outside of that is a ring of mushrooms. But they tend to come sort of later in the year, after we get more of like a sort of a colder, rainier period. Yeah, it was a bit you have to kind of be careful, because they look a little bit like button mushrooms, but of course they're not. You should never be eating mushrooms that you find unless you are very well versed in what you are actually doing. And yeah, I know in France you can take, if you go foraging for wild mushrooms, or mushrooms that you find, you can take them to your pharmacy, and they will identify them for you as to whether they are edible or not. I don't know if I know they used to do that. I'd love to know. If anyone knows if that's still the case, I would really like to know, because I always thought that was a wonderful service. So a bit more interesting than getting your vaccines and your headache pills. So I just, on this page with all these beautiful warm colours, I'm using my Diamine Cocoa Shimmer ink in one of my TWSBI fountain pens with a broad nib. For someone who supposedly was meant to be taking it very easy in March after my surgery, I still managed to do quite a few things. One of the first things I did, which was perhaps a little ambitious, but I still managed, and I'm so glad I did it, was I went to a penmanship course run by Barbara Nickel, who is a handwriting expert and a Churchill Fellow, and I did a review of her course and her book in another video. So if you're interested in that, the book that you get as part of the course, it was a 2-hour course, and the book basically promises that by working through it over the period of 2 hours, that you will also improve your penmanship. So the course is essentially a real life delivery of her book. Now I'm just going through my sticker release, my DIY sticker release book in my Tokyo Station traveler's notebook there, and seeing what I can find to pop in, because if I have some time where I feel like doing some fussy cutting, or I've just got a few samples of PET or some sort of last bits of washi off a roll or something like that, I just save them and put them in that sticker release. Funnily enough, Travelers Notebook Company have actually brought out, as part of their permanent lineup, and they shared this at the same time when they revealed that they would be making the olive part of their permanent lineup as well. They are including now regular and passport size sticker release books, as well as accordion paper inserts as well, which is really, really exciting. I love that sticker release. Obviously I loved it so much that I made my own. I'll have to still see if the one that they have brought out, whether I can still make it more economical myself, or whether theirs is more affordable than buying the materials and producing it myself, because I think they're the sort of thing that are really, really handy to have if you're a multiple journal keeper. They're the sort of thing that's really handy to keep together with your different journals. So yeah, I could definitely see myself wanting one in a variety of journals. These pages I am putting in about the lovely orchid that one of my friends sent me to cheer me up when I was stuck at home feeling sore and sorry for myself. And yeah, it was really lovely to have that orchid. It lasted longer than a bunch of flowers. And yeah, it was so nice just to have him on my desk, and where I've sort of ended up spending a lot of time in March. So much so that I sat my husband down and I had a serious conversation with him. Because if you saw, I did share a little house tour and a little tour of my desk space where I do my filming and happy mail making and journal writing, and also those boring things like paying bills and all of that kind of stuff. And half of that was being taken up by his work from home equipment. And so one day I asked him how much longer did he think that he would be having days where he would be working from home, and how often that might be the case. And he had to think about it, and he said, well, to be honest, probably at the most one day a month. And I said, well, how would you feel if we set up a work from home space for you in our spare room, which has a bed, and it's actually turned, it was where my dad when he used to come and stay with us, he would stay, and it was all set up nicely, but as he is no longer with us, it has become a bit of a dumping ground of things, as a staging post, like clothes that have been grown out of by the kids to pass on to Lifeline, and toys that they have grown, that they no longer want to play with, etc. And I said, well, how about if we set that up as a work from home space for you? And he was most receptive to that, because he is a lovely man. And so he had lots of fun. He chose a beautiful mid-century inspired desk and a faux, a replica Eames office chair, and a nice rug. And I got a new cover, like a new bedspread for our guest bed, to turn it into like a day bed type scenario. And he has since moved his work from home stuff in there. So I now have the office / music room space all to myself, which is amazing. I'm so overwhelmed with having double the amount of desk space. I kind of don't know what to do with it. This is so silly. And then my daughter and I, because we have all those built-in cupboards above the desks, and we use that as an opportunity to go through all of those and clean them out and really do a big Marie Kondo of the space. And it's really felt like a weight off my shoulders. And because a lot of the stuff that I had in there was things left over from the passing of my parents, and stuff that I had to sort through with their estate and so forth. So, that kind of weighed on me, both sort of, I guess, physically and emotionally. So to say goodbye to those things, it has just been a very, very positive and uplifting experience. And I have this space with this lovely potential now. So much potential, I don't know what to do. Mad. So I'm kind of thinking, well, do I have one side of the desk where I do all my YouTube filming, or have one side set up for when I get my little shop orders, because I wrap them all up and decorate them, and I do all the tracked postage. So I've got a whole lot of supplies, like packaging supplies and registered envelopes and special washi tapes and so forth, and stock as well, all the stock that I make and collate. And so I don't know, so I am just taking my time and thinking about how I'm going to utilize that space. Also, excitingly, for me, and basically I have to say thank you to all of you who so wonderful to not only watch my channel and watch my videos and comment on my videos, but to subscribe as well. I became part of the YouTube Partner Program, which is it doesn't actually do all that much, but it certainly feels like a milestone for me, and has brought me much personal excitement. So we're just going through my pages here. I didn't share all of my pages, setting them up, because some of them are quite personal and feature some friends of mine, and my son had his birthday. But yeah, I just having a look at them here. That was, of course, to mark the YouTube Partnership Program. I did a collaboration with a Labcraft boutique with Persia, and put in her business card and some of the paper that she sent me as well, just to remember that, because that was exciting. My son turned 12, and like so many 12-year-olds, he is obsessed with Prime. If you don't know what Prime is, it's an elaborately marketed drink to children who shouldn't actually drink it. I went out to a beautiful lunch with the mothers group. We celebrated my niece's birthday, and yeah, it was just a lovely month. So thank you for sharing these pages with me, and till next time, stay safe. Bye.